No, thank you very much, Ntate Setswambu, who is our program director, our EXCO members present here today, heads of our different provincial departments, heads of communications in different departments, journalists present here and those following us on the various platforms, the residents of the Northwest Province. Bagaitso, good morning, Dumelang. Program Director, we meet here today on our quarterly engagement with members of the media following the country's successful hosting of the G20 summit, where leaders of top 20 economies in the world committed to advance a fair and equitable future for all. As a province, we pride ourselves with having hosted 3 key important events which served as a precursor for the first G20 summit to be held on the African continent. This includes the second G20 Education Working Group meeting, which was centered on improving access to early childhood care and education through building a strong educational foundation. The G20 stakeholders consultation, which focused on women, youth, and persons with disabilities, which was held at the MMC Special Schools in Taung. It was followed by the third G20 Shepherds meeting in Sun City, where our country put emphasis on advancing global South priorities such as inclusive growth, sustainable development, and social justice, as well as debt sustainability for low-income economies, critical minerals, and the just energy transition. Our country has firmly adjustment budget. This fiscal framework, where an additional 1.4 billion was announced by the MEC, is informed by encouraging signs of economic recovery that have begun to emerge across the country. The Department of Health, Education and Public Works and Roads received the lion's share of the budget. This is primarily aimed at keeping up with government's commitment to support effective teaching and learning, universal access to health care to all, as well as efforts to improve our road network infrastructure. Program Director, this quarterly media briefing comes at a time where our province is observing 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. We have also successfully hosted the commemoration of World AIDS Day in Tlhabane in Rustenburg local municipality last week Friday. As a province, we strongly support and are fully behind the fight against the 2 pandemics. The Global AIDS Strategy 2021-2026 impresses upon us to address health inequalities by ensuring that we strengthen our efforts in equitable access of HIV and TB treatment, as well as an integrated health services. As such, over 95% of people living with HIV and AIDS in our province, they know their status. And those who are on treatment are virally suppressed. Our province is leading the pack in drug-resistant TB management in the country with a success rate of between 84 and 86%. Our efforts in addressing health-related backlogs in the province have been given a boost by an allocation of 200 million rand of additional funding for employment of nurses and doctors. This includes the procurement of 54 ambulances that are expected to be delivered before the end of the year. We also take this opportunity to reaffirm our support for GBVF victims by strengthening our capacity in safeguarding the rights of women and children. We equally support President Cyril Ramaphosa's call in declaring this scourge a national crisis. As a province, we maintain that it is through inclusive growth centered on the empowerment of women and the creation of a fairer society that we can defeat this pandemic. Program Director, expediting provision of services and job creation remains the most two important apex priorities that the province identified as needing our immediate and ongoing intervention. Through deliberate developmental programs aimed at addressing these challenges, the Northwest Executive Council has approved the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy in May this year. This strategy, which is coupled with an implementation plan that provides a clear roadmap on the provincial efforts to ramp up the economy of the province through infrastructure development initiatives, will be launched next year in February ahead of the State of the Province address. The latest quarterly labor force survey, which depicts the creation of 42,000 jobs, marking a drop of 2% in unemployment figures, is indicative of a province hard at work to turn the tide against the scourge of unemployment in the province. Through agriculture, which is one of the main economic drivers, as encapsulated in the growth strategy, the province has succeeded in increasing both the scale and efficiency of crop production among smallholder and emerging farmers. So far, over 1,000 subsistence producers have been supported, and a total of over 80 million rand has been allocated to this initiative to strengthen agricultural support, food security, and rural livelihoods. Moreover, the Dunlop Wheel and Alignment projects, which have been launched under the auspices of Tunzalorol, are now taking shape and will serve as a catalyst for the revitalization of local economic activities through market hubs for SMME development initiatives. In giving impetus to this promising trajectory, we will host the Provincial Summit on Investment, Jobs, and Mining. These summits will assist the province grow the economy, lure investment, and create avenues for diversification through minerals beneficiation. The road infrastructure initiatives are gaining traction by day, and government continues to register tangible progress on major road rehabilitation projects that support mobility, economic activity, and access to social services. Several road infrastructure projects in Mahikeng, Kgetleng, Kagiso Mokgosi, and Ditsobotla in Danville towards the Sepaku mines have been fully completed, providing safer and more efficient movement for communities, workers, and freight vehicles. A 100 million rand investment on the yellow fleet has been delivered, and districts have been tasked to embark on a joint road maintenance initiatives to address some of the backlogs experienced across the province. Moreover, with the 201 million rand allocated to the province for the implementation of the Welisizwe Rural Bridge Program, we plan to create over 580 job opportunities in 14 of the identified projects. Furthermore, we have set aside 476 million of the provincial road infrastructure, of the provincial road management grant allocation for the rehabilitation and upgrading of road infrastructure through the utilization of block paving. By so doing, we will ensure that these projects are labor intensive, thus yielding the creation of more job opportunities. the Department of Public Works and Roads has been allocated an additional 256 million rand, which includes 150 million in the form of a disaster relief fund to address the repairs of roads and bridges that were damaged by floods earlier this year. Our Operation Bulela Metsi, which was launched in this province in collaboration with the Department of Water and Sanitation, as an intervention program to ensure that all households have access to water, continues to bear positive fruits. A 106 billion water supply intervention project is currently underway in Dinokana at the Ramotsiri-Mulwa local municipality to augment water provision for residents. At Ikageng Township in JB Marks municipality, the construction of a 25 megaliter reservoir is on track to be completed next year by the end of March. The reservoir and the bulk distribution pipeline will supply water to communities in Ikageng Extension 1, 4, 5, 9, and 12, Poch Industrial, Mahodadin, as well as the north portion of Ikageng Extension 7. Other projects that are being implemented through the Municipal Infrastructure Grant, MIG, to resolve or augment water provision include the augmentation of bulk water infrastructure in Ipelegen, Swaziland at a cost of 131 million rand, which is about 90% to be completed. The city of Matlosane is also refurbishing the electrical and mechanical equipment in the water pump stations in Joburg, Ellington, Lorraine, Kanana, and Kuma to ensure consistent supply of water in the area. The 39.5 million project will be completed very soon. The water supply projects, which are at different stages of construction in Mahikeng local municipality, includes Madibe Atau, Lonely Park, Setlopo, and Mahikeng Rural Sanitation Project. A total budget of 385 million rand has been committed for all these projects. The Tabane Back Internal Water Reticulation, which has been allocated 58 million rand, is 96% complete, while the Letabong Internal Sewer Reticulation, toilet structures, and upgrading of wastewater treatment work is progressing very well. The project is being executed at a budget of over 140 million rand and is 82% complete. These efforts are a culmination of good governance practice that have been put in place to ensure that we meet our constitutional mandate. This assertion is further given credence by our provincial audit outcomes, which continue to demonstrate an upward trajectory as compared to the previous years. In the latest audit cycle, which ended in April this year, 8 of the 12 departments received unqualified audit outcomes, with the Department of Arts, Sports, Culture and Recreation and Provincial Treasury receiving clean audits. It's only the Department of Education and Health that received qualified audit opinions. We wish to indicate that the appointment of the departmental head of social development has been concluded. An announcement in this regard will be made in due course. The process to fill the vacancies for the Superintendent General of the Department of Health, as well as the head of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, has begun in earnest as their term of office is coming to an end in few months. We have also, dealing with what I've just referred, subsequent to this, after re-advert, we have deployed Ntate Obake Mongali to the Office of the Premier to coordinate the provincial segment of the national dialogue, while Mr. Mutupi Khatla will hold the fort as an acting SG of Health Department until the aforementioned process are concluded. Program Director, in strengthening the local sphere of government, the National Cabinet resolved to place Ditsobota local municipality under intervention in terms of Section 1397 of the Constitution a few months ago. Cabinet subsequently appointed a national cabinet representative and team of experts to run the affairs of the municipality. The intervention has brought stability to the municipality, and Ditsobotla is no longer hogging news headlines for all the wrong reasons. Furthermore, the investigations in Madibeng and Matlosane local municipalities have been concluded in terms of Section 106 of the Municipal Structures Act. This follows allegations of maladministration and corruption reported to the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. The recommendations will be implemented by the MEC for COCT. Investigations into Aing will be concluded before the end of the year. We also welcome the Supreme Court of Appeal ruling on the matter of the Naledi local municipality municipal manager. We implore the council to swiftly implement the judgment of the Supreme Court of Appeal, failing which will result in the provincial government intervening on the matter guided by the relevant legislation. Besides, the implementation of the mandatory financial recovery plans, the FRPs, across the 7 municipalities under interventions continues to progress positively. Ramotsere Muilwa local municipality has advanced to the sustainability phase, which is the final stage of the FRP implementation framework, and has existed financial distress. So the municipality has moved to the next phase of a crisis to sustainability. This achievement is a direct result of the municipalities embracing the FRP, including the adoption of a funded budget and qualifying for the second 1/3 ESCOM debt write-off relief. Similarly, Dr. Ruth Sekgomotsi Mompati District Municipality has adopted a funded budget for the 25-26 MTREF and has commenced implementation of the sustainability phase. Based on this progress recorded to date, we anticipate that this municipality will exit the financial distress by the end of the next quarter. The provincial government commits to ensure that municipalities within the Northwest Province uphold sound financial management practice and accountability in line with the Constitution and all applicable legislation. The provincial government, through the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, will also in February 2026 host the Provincial Local Government Kota under the theme, Every Municipality Must Work. This is part of the ongoing commitment by the provincial government to ensure that all municipalities are functional, responsive, and accountable to the people they serve. Bagaetso, Mokgosi boa dibelwa, Mokgosi ga se kupe ga se letsotku ga boitlolwe. And as a province, we have established investigative committees in terms of Section 59, subsection 2 of the Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Act 2019 to deal with traditional leadership and related disputes. We can report to the affected traditional authorities that the investigations are at different level of stages. And they are as follows. Bahurutsi Bagamuilwa committee has finalized its report and submitted to the Premier for consideration and implementation. Bahurutsi Bo Manyane, the committee has been reconstituted and will be introduced to the interested parties on the 11th of December 2025. Bahurutsi Bo Mokgetla in Kofi Kral, the report of the committee is still outstanding. It's work in progress. Bakwena Ba Mogopa committee is gathering oral evidence from witnesses. This is just an indication that we are at earnest intention to assist in resolving the disputes of the traditional authorities. The Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committee, the PICC, has officially launched the 2025 initiation season and has approved 446 traditional schools across the province. Re dira boikuelo go baagi ba province gore go se nne le borra kgotsa bomma mophato bape ba ba dirang dikolo tse di seng ka fa molaong ka seno se tsenya matshelo a bana ba rona mo kotsing. Now the province has activated the safer festive operations on the 17th of October 2025. The operation, which is a multidisciplinary joint, what is called Provincial Joint Operational and Intelligence Structure, is coordinated and led by the South African Police Services. The operation, which has started on the 1st October this year, will run for 123 days until the end of January next year. This will be an all-inclusive crime-fighting operation. Part of the activities that the new enforcement will be focusing on is the January 8th event, which will be held in Moruleng for the 140th anniversary of the African National Congress. Preparations for the event are well underway, and the Prof Joint is hard at work to ensure the safety of everybody who will be attending that event. The key details for this year's safer festive operations will include high visibility of patrols, intelligence-driven operations, and targeted actions against specific crimes. This will include gender-based violence and femicide, aggravated robberies, including hijackings and business robberies, and hence a broader security and protecting tourism and economic hubs, amongst others. We also welcome the rollout of the Ngaka Mudiri Molema commuter transport following a tedious and long court battle. As a result, many of our residents were left stranded and had to dig deep into their pockets to commute between various destination points in the Ngaka Mudiri Molema district. We wish to report to the people of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda that plans are underway to bring similar service close to them. This is the only district that does not benefit from a commuter transport subsidy. Therefore, we are far ahead in terms of our preparation that Dr. Kenneth Kaunda people must also be subsidized by government. The preparations ahead for Mahikeng cultural festivals are all in full swing. The 3-day, which will be held from the 12th to the 14th of December, is aimed at unearthing talent in our province while celebrating our cultural diversity in the form of music, heritage, and arts. The provincial capital has for years been known as a cultural melting point through genres such as performing arts, music, storytelling, poetry, and film. This event forms part and parcel of our ongoing efforts to build a strong events economy and reincarnate as well as reposition Mahikeng as a viable destination for arts, culture, and heritage in the country. In conclusion, Program Director, we take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Education for an incident-free examination period where over 40,000 full-time and part-time candidates sat for their matric examination. The preparations that went to this exercise gave confidence that we can do much better as a province. As we welcome this festive season, I wish all of you a joyful, peaceful, and safe holidays.